Hello everyone, welcome to semester number 2 and in this semester I will be associated with paper number PPH 2802 unit number 4 and this is the first lecture. This is our first lecture. Our unit this time is associated with scattering, and dispersion, that is okay. Our unit is scattering and dispersion. We will study scattering and dispersion with respect to classical electrodynamics. Okay, we will study this with respect to classical electrodynamics point of view. Okay, we will study scattering with respect to classical electrodynamics. Okay, now what is basically scattering? Scattering is nothing but the deviation of a path of a light due to the striking or collision with respect to some small particles or small dust particles or small molecules or water molecules, or you can say vapor. Okay, small dust particle. Suppose you have a light. Suppose if you have a ray passing like this, and if you have a dust particle or if you have something which is obstacle, then it will have scattering of light. It will have scattering of light. Okay, it will scatter light. It will scatter light with different angles. Okay, this will try to scatter light with respect to different angles. Okay. Now, what we want to study is, let me clear up the picture. Suppose this is your dust particle, and if you have this kind of ray coming towards it, it will have scattering like this. It will have scattering like this. Okay. So, scattering of a light is a phenomenon in which light rays, this light rays, scattering of a light is nothing but a phenomenon in which a light ray coming towards this dust particle or a small molecule present in the air or atmosphere. What happens that after striking to this obstacle, after striking with this obstacle, the path of a light ray will deviate. Okay, the path of a light ray will deviate in this direction. Okay, it will try to deviate in this direction. This is nothing but scattering of light. Okay, the scattering of light is the phenomenon in which light rays get deviated. Light rays get deviated. Light rays get deviated from its straight path. Remember, from its straight path, deviated from its straight path. Okay, deviated from its straight path on striking an obstacle. On striking an obstacle. Okay, this is an obstacle. The obstacle may be a dust particle, water molecule, or a vapor, water vapor, or another gas molecule. Okay. Now the colors we see in the sky are due to the scattering of light. The colors which we see in the sky is due to the scattering of light. And why we see blue color in light, why sky is blue, that we'll see later on at the end of this theory. At the end of this theory, we will came to some conclusion, and due to that conclusion, we will have the answer for that why the sky is blue. Okay, we will derive some equations with respect to electrodynamics, and we will reach to some of its solution. Okay. Now, over here, if we compare some of the properties or some of the things which can be compared in between this obstacle and in this light, we can compare something, then it will just be the size of this obstacle, the size of this obstacle, the size and this wavelength, and the wavelength. Okay, and the wavelength. So there will be there will be, what is going to happen is, you will have this kind of size variation and the wavelength variation. Okay, so there has to be some study with respect to size and the wavelength of a light and the size of the obstacle or a particle coming in between the straight path and scattering the light. Okay, so we will start our study with the scattering at long wavelengths. We will start our study with the topic that is scattering with long wavelengths. Okay, so wavelengths longer compared to the size of the particle. Okay, wavelengths longer as compared to the size of the particle. We will start our study with scattering at longer wavelengths. Okay, scattering at long wavelength. Okay, scattering at long wavelength. Now let us understand that why we want to consider this and what will be its consideration, some of the things. Okay, let us understand this. First we have to understand, then it will be more easier for us. Suppose this is the size of a particle coming in between the path of a light ray and scattering the light, and the light which we have is so you can think of, this is the size B and this is the lambda. Okay, this is nothing but lambda. You can think of that scattering at longer wavelengths means lambda is greater than B. Okay, D is very small. Lambda is greater than D. Right? So this is what we are going to study, scattering at longer wavelengths. Longer wavelengths means it's compared to the size of the particles. Longer wavelength, scattering at longer wavelength means we want to study the scattering of the light with respect to a small particle. Small particle means the size, the dimension of a particle whose dimensions are less than the wavelength of a light. Dimensions are less than the wavelength of a light. Means if you have this kind of electromagnetic waves, light is nothing but an electromagnetic wave. For one wave, for this part, the size of that one wave will be more. The size of that one wave, okay? One wave is nothing but the wavelength. That is higher than the size of this particle. Higher than the size of this particle. Higher than the size of this particle. Okay? We want to study this. Now what happens there? If we take a general example, then what happens when a light strikes this kind of particle? It will try to induce dipoles. Okay? This light is nothing but electromagnetic waves. Let me show you. These are the electric fields. And this will be the magnetic fields. Okay? These are the magnetic fields. Perpendicular to electric field and magnetic field, both are perpendicular to each other. Okay? Electric and magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other, and the direction of propagation. This is nothing but the direction of propagation. The direction of propagation is also perpendicular to each other. Okay? You will also have this kind of, okay? So we will have this kind of fields. Now what happens is This field, this field will induce, this field will induce dipole or multipole. Okay, dipoles are nothing but poles related to only two charged particles. Multipoles are related to number of charged particles that we will see in later. Dipoles and multipoles in this particle. Okay, and due to that you will have induced dipoles or multipoles in the scatterer. In this particle is known as scatterer. We will call it as a scatterer. This is scatterer or a particle or a scatterer. So what happens that when an electromagnetic wave will hit on this scatterer, it will induce, suppose this is the scatterer, it will induce electric and magnetic dipoles and multipoles. It will induce, blue one is electric field, green is magnetic field. It will induce electric and magnetic field inside the scatterer, and after that inducing, it will try to radiate. It will radiate. Okay? It will radiate in different direction with respect to different angle, with respect to different power per unit solid angle. Okay? That we'll see later on while deriving the theory. So this is all about the scattering at longer wavelength. Now our first topic will be scattering by dipole induced in a small scatterer. We will start the first topic as scattering by dipoles induced in a small scatterer. Okay? So the first topic is scattering by dipole dipoles induced in small scatterer. Okay, small scatterers. These scatterers can be particles, dust particle, water molecules, gas molecules inside the air. Okay, so the first theory is scattering by dipoles induced in small scatterers. Okay, so as we discussed that the lambda will be large as compared to the size of the particle or size of scatter, and it will induce that coming electromagnetic wave will try to induce and dipole, electric dipole or magnetic dipole or even multipoles. Okay, we will see what is the difference between dipole and multipoles. Don't worry about that. That it will induce the electric dipole and magnetic dipole inside the material or scatterer, and it will then try to radiate the energy in different solid angles and different angles. Okay, and different angles. Now, before going to the derivation of this theory, let us have some of the examples, some of the assumptions what we have to make with respect to this theory is we need to write down something like the scattering, some of the assumptions that what we are assuming or what we are considering before going for the derivations, or the relation between the incident wave and the scattered wave with respect to electric field and magnetic field dipoles. Okay, we will write down something that let the scattering of electromagnetic wave let the scattering of electromagnetic waves by a small by a system whose individual dimensions are small compared to the wavelength. Okay, compared to the wavelengths, let the scattering of electromagnetic waves by a system whose individual dimensions are small as compared to the wavelengths that what we have assumed in the earlier starting stage. But these are the words which has to be taken care while writing down the theory. In such interaction, it is convenient to think of the incident fields. The incident fields are inducing. Incident fields are inducing, as what we have discussed. The incident electromagnetic wave or the light wave will try to induce a dipole or multipoles inside the scatterer or inside the particle, and after that, due to the oscillations of the dipoles and multipoles of electric and magnetic fields, electric and magnetic dipoles, it will have a radiation. Okay, inducing electric and magnetic multipoles, that oscillate. The induced multipoles will oscillate in definite phase relation to that of incident wave. Means the oscillations inside the multipoles, oscillations inside the induced dipoles or multipoles will be in phase with respect to the incident waves, and radiates energy and radiate energy in the direction other than the direction of incidence, other than the direction of incidence. As we have discussed, it is going to this is a particle, this is a wave, this will have induced electric and magnetic dipole or multipole, and it will radiate the energy. It will radiate the energy in different direction. Okay, other than the direction of incidence. Other than the direction of incidence. Okay, other than the direction of incidence. Right? Now, if the now what we will assume that if we will not consider multipoles. Remember, now if the wavelength, if now if the wavelength of the radiation is long compared to the size of the scatterer, then only we will only take the consideration of dipoles. Remember, if in our case, if the wavelength is longer as compared to the size of the particle or as compared to the size of the scatterer, as what we have taken for our theory, then we only have to consider the dipoles in multipoles, because multipoles will be consisting of dipoles, quadrupoles, octopoles. Okay, number of higher order poles are there, but for our simplicity we will only consider dipoles. Okay, we will only consider dipoles. Then only the lowest multipoles, usually electric and magnetic dipoles are important. Okay, as the length of the incident wavelength, incident light, as the length, remember, as the length of the incoming light is longer compared to the scatterer. The scatterer is nothing but the particle. Okay, if the length of the incident light is longer, then we will have only the lowest multipoles. Lowest multipoles means nothing but the electric and magnetic dipoles. Okay, we will just have electric and magnetic dipoles. Lowest multipoles means this dipole. Okay, lowest multipoles means nothing but the dipoles. Dipoles, after you will have quadrupoles and you will have octupoles. Okay, this is nothing but the, we will only consider dipoles. Okay, for this theory. Now let us have a small revision that what are dipoles, what are quadrupoles, what are octupoles. We will just have a small revision with respect to dipoles. Okay, suppose for dipole, this is just a small revision to understand dipole, quadrupole and octupole. Okay, this is not a part of theory. Just understand this. We will have positive charge, negative charge. This is dipole. This is nothing but dipole. If you have quadrupole, then what is going to happen is you will have plus charge, you will have negative charge, you will have negative charge, you will have plus charge, and Okay, so this is the electric charge arrangement and electric field in dipole for quadrupole. And if you have octupoles, then you will have negative, this will be positive, this will be negative, this will be positive, over here again it will be negative, positive, positive and negative. Okay, so charge will be, this will be from this direction, this direction, this direction, this direction, and this will be from this direction, this direction, this direction and this direction. So this is for the octupole arrangement. Okay, we are only considering this dipole, we are only considering this. These are not our interest, these are not in our interest, these are not in our interest. We are not considering quadrupoles and octupoles, we are only considering dipoles, we are only considering the lowest multipoles, we are only considering the lowest multipoles, that is nothing but dipoles. Okay, for our system is nothing but the system in which the incoming light or incoming radiation is having wavelength lambda, which is greater than incoming light is having wavelength lambda, which is greater than the size of a scatter or the size of a particle. Okay, remember this is the important point. Now let us start our theory. So this is the important thing what we have to consider, that the wavelength of the incoming light to the scatter is higher than the size of a particle. Okay, now let us start the theory that what is going to happen is, what we have to assume is, again let us see the diagram of that scattering. You will have such kind of particle and a wave is going to come. Okay, this is the electric field. Okay, and you will have the lambda. This is nothing but the lambda. Okay, this is lambda, this is nothing but the size of a particle, and lambda is greater than d. Okay, lambda is greater than d. This is we are just pointing out the electric field. You will also have magnetic fields. These are electric field lines. Okay, and you will have magnetic field lines. Both are perpendicular to each other to the direction of propagation. This is nothing but the direction of propagation. You will have magnetic field lines. Okay, these are the magnetic field lines. Now what you can assume is the direction of propagation is n0. Let us say the vector n0, normal is n0. You will have this kind of induced magnetic field and induced electric field. Okay, this kind of induced magnetic field and induced electric field. The electric field and magnetic field which are induced inside the material is going to change its direction with respect to the change in the fields. Okay, now we will have two type of waves. The first one is incident wave, and the second one outgoing is the scattered wave. We will have incident one and another will be the scattered wave. Okay, now in both of this we can find out the electric field component and magnetic field component and the direction of propagation or the normal vector. Normal vector is n0. This is nothing but n0, and you will have such kind of diagram. Okay, this is n0. This is E incident. this is E incident, and this is H incident. Okay, you will have three vectors, that is electric field component with the incident magnetic field component in the incident wave, and n0 is nothing but the propagation. Okay, it's normal. N0 is nothing but the propagation. Okay, now what we can think of is, let us make this as an image. What is going to happen is, when you have such a thing, then again we have to consider this kind of small scatterer who is this is D, and lambda is greater than D, and this is the incident normal, and this is the scattered one. This is for the scatter, where over here you will have E incident and H incident. Over here you will have E scatter and H scatter. Okay, you will have P and M. Now what is P and M? And you will have angle theta. What is PM? And let us say that P is nothing but the electric dipole moment. As we know that it will have this electric field, induced electric field and induced magnetic field over here. This part. Okay, this part. It will have induced electric field and induced magnetic field. It will have induced electric field and induced magnetic field after the incident of the light. Okay, it will have induced electric field and magnetic field. Now this will have electric dipole moment and magnetic dipole moment. Okay, it will have induced electric dipole and induced magnetic dipole moment. So let us say it is having some electric dipole moment P. Let some electric dipole moment P. This is nothing but the induced electric dipole moment P, and magnetic dipole moment, that is M, and we have magnetic dipole moment M. Okay, let some electric dipole moment P and magnetic dipole moment M. Now for further our simplicity, we are taking permeability and permittivity is equals to 1, and if the incident direction is defined by unit vector and we have a unit vector that is n0, this is unit vector. Okay, this is unit vector, this is nothing but unit vector n0, and we will have another vector that is psi 0, that is for polarization vector. We will have polarization vector, we will have we will have polarization vector. We will have polarization vector psi 0, 0. Okay. So the incident fields are given by, now the incident fields are given by the incident fields are given by E incident is equals to psi 0 of E0 dot e raised to ik n0 dot x, where this is for polarization, this is for polarization, this is nothing but the amplitude, this is nothing but the amplitude, and this is nothing but the phase term, this is nothing but the phase term. Okay, that is nothing but the phase term. We can have the incident electric field E is equals to E0 into psi of 0 polarization. This is for amplitude and phase term e raised to I k naught of x. Okay, where over here, where k is nothing but omega by c. Remember, k is nothing but omega by c. So the k term is responsible for the frequency dependent term. K is nothing but frequency dependent term. Okay, because omega is nothing but 2 pi f. Okay. Now we can write off, what we can write off is, we have electric field, then we will have magnetic field. Magnetic field, that is H incident, is equals to the normal vector into E incident by Z0. Okay, this is nothing but the cross. This is nothing but the cross. Okay, N0 cross E incidence by Z0. Then where this is the impedance. This is the impedance. Okay, this is the impedance. Now what happens that these two fields induce dipole moments. These fields induce dipole moments P and M. This will induce dipole moments P and M in small scatterer. And these dipoles radiate energy in all directions. Okay, these fields induce dipole moments P and N in small scatterers, and these dipoles radiate energy in all directions. Okay, as what we have seen, such like this it will come. We will have electric field and magnetic field. Okay. You will have induced dipoles of electric magnetic field. It will radiate in all directions. It will radiate in all directions. Okay. It will radiate in all directions. Now, this is the incident part. This is the incident part. This is the incident part wave equation. We are interested in knowing that what will be the E value and H value, that is E scatterer and H scatterer.